I guess we'll have to wait to see if the police will arrest the former president, Jacob Zuma, today. They have until midnight to make their arrest. That's according to the order by the Constitutional Court. Well, let's get some more clarity on Zuma's potential or possible arrest from University of Pretoria's public law professor, Koos Malan. Prof. Malan, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Some experts say there should be no confusion at all. The Constitutional Court order stands because that thing happened yesterday at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. What is your view?
Well, I don't think everything is that certain. As a matter of fact, I think there is a tremendous amount of uncertainty. The situation is this. It is true that the Constitutional Court has not said something specifically regarding the warrant of committal. That is true. But on the other hand, one may argue that the fact that the Constitutional Court is prepared and willing to listen to Mr. Zuma on Monday, the 12th of July, is also an indication, by logical implication, the warrant of arrest and committal has at least been put on abeyance until such time as the court gives a final order, having heard what he has to say on Monday the 12th.
But Prof, on Sunday, when the Constitutional Court announced that it will allow him to come back next Monday to state his case, should it not have clarified that abeyance you're mentioning?
That's a very good point. What a court should be doing, including the Constitutional Court, is actually to make clear through directives what the proceedings should be, what should be happening. And obviously the whole question of the warrant of arrest and committal stands in the center of this whole thing. So the fact that the Constitutional Court, to my mind, has not said anything about this implies that the Constitutional Court has nolens volens actually contributed towards the uncertainty that we are grappling with at the moment.
And could it be
much better had the Constitutional Court
I think
about that?
But could it also be that they just make the assumption that because they have said nothing, the order stands, he must be arrested?
Possibly one can argue that way. But one can also argue precisely the other way. There is equal validity in both arguments, bringing us back to the uncertainty that we have referred to. So I do not think that kind of exonerates the Constitutional Court from having actually the responsibility to state explicitly what the position should be.
So we are in this confusion, uncertainty as you call it, thanks to the Constitutional Court.
Well, yes, most certainly. I think, I mean, the fact that this is the highest court, the apex court, as we call it, does not mean that the court can also not make mistakes. And I think in this particular regard, there was certainly an oversight.
Can they redeem themselves today? It's not midnight yet. What time? It's 25 past. It's about 23 past 1 o'clock during the day. We are all in the media saying we are waiting, we're watching what the police will do. Can the Constitutional Court redeem itself within the next few hours and say, oh, here's a directive, because we've allowed Mr. Zuma to come to talk to us next week, Monday, this order is in abeyance?
Yeah. You know, we are living in strange times, and in view of the fact that there is a certain amount of confusion, well, a tremendous amount of confusion and uncertainty, and in view of the fact that the Constitutional Court is certainly also aware of that, I think that possibility cannot be ruled out, specifically taking into consideration the possible dire consequences should anything happen which turns out to be wrong.
Yeah.
So, yes, there is such a possibility.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see what they do, because from what you are saying makes perfect logic to me. If you give a directive or a decision that, okay, we'll hear your case again on the 12th of July, you then have to say what happens in the intervening period. And if you are silent, you're causing a lot of uncertainty. So nobody should blame Mr. Zuma for saying, I'm not going to any jail until I've been at the court next week, Monday.
Well, that's the logical consequences of what the court has done here. And although nobody would like, or almost nobody would like anybody to take sides with Mr. Zuma, and although perhaps certain people might actually accuse me of taking sides with Mr. Zuma, this is actually not what is happening here. I'm just dealing on the cold facts. And on that, it seems to me that the mistake has indeed been made by the CC.
So the Minister of Police, Mr. Begitele, and the Commissioner of Police, Kehlas Tole, at the moment, they have every reason to try to say to the country, but he's going to speak to the court next week, Monday. Why arrest him?
I think there is certainly merit in that. I have sympathy for them, although in the normal course of events I might not have that much sympathy for the minister. But I think in this particular scenario, I can fully understand the quandary they find themselves in. Just imagine the following. Say the Maritzburg court decides on, well, firstly, say they now arrest Mr. Zuma. But on Friday, the magistrates, the Maritzburg High Court says, no, actually, the warrant of arrest and committal should be stayed. The effect of which would then be that they arrest him today and have to release him on Friday. Now, that's certainly completely absurd. And also, in order to avoid such possible absurd consequences to follow, should he be arrested today, then it might be rather better not to arrest him. Moreover, whenever you deal with law, you always err on the safe side. You always err on the side of rather allowing a person, whoever that person might be, and however bad the specific set of facts might be, rather to allow such person his continued freedom instead of arresting him, taking him to jail in conditions where there are these major question marks over the situation.
The next 11 hours or so going to be very interesting in the country. Thank you very much, Professor Malan there from University of Pretoria. He's Professor of Public Law.